The twin suns of Taxis Prime burned mercilessly. Dust whipped across the desert fortress as Riker Vance trudged through the heat, his boots kicking up small clouds with every step. Sweat ran down his neck, soaking the collar of his gray travel shirt. The weight of his blaster at his side was small comfort in this lawless outpost. His eyes squinted at the fortress entrance, where two hulking guards loomed. Their reptilian faces betrayed no emotion, just cold, calculating observation. Riker muttered under his breath, "Just get the hyperdrive modulator and get out." Passing the guards, he entered the fortress marketplace. Inside, the stench of alien species mixed with sizzling food and strange chemicals. Merchants hawked their wares: contraband weapons, exotic foods, even living creatures. Riker had been sent here for one thing: a Mark 7 hyperdrive modulator. His ship wouldn't leave the planet without it. In a dim corner, a faded holographic sign read, "Kragath Supplies." Riker approached cautiously. The alien merchant greeted him without warmth. Bulbous eyes, wrinkled skin, and 4 gesturing arms made Kragath seem almost comical, but Riker knew better. Danger hid behind every fold of alien skin. "You need a Mark 7 hyperdrive modulator?" Kragath hissed, revealing needle-like teeth. "Expensive taste." Riker handed over his credit chip. 20,000 credits. Nearly everything he owned. As they haggled, Riker's attention shifted to the shadowy back corner of the shop. A small humanoid figure hung from a thick metal collar. Her skin was pale lavender, scratched and dirty. Long silver hair clung to her shoulders in tangles. She was tiny, fragile, and trembling. When her large green eyes met his, Riker felt his chest tighten. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Can you buy me and take me as your slave, please?" The words struck him like a blow. He had seen horrors across the galaxy, but this was different. Innocence trapped in fear. Helplessness he couldn't ignore. "How much?" he asked before he could think. "For the girl?" Kragath's eyes gleamed. 15,000. Riker counted his credits. Exactly what he needed for the modulator. But looking at her, he made a decision. "I'll take her instead of the modulator," he said, his voice steady. After tense haggling, they settled at 18,000 credits. Nearly all of Riker's money was gone. But the girl Lissa was free. Riker stepped forward, hatchet in hand. The metal chain connecting her to the wall was thick, but his blade was sharp. With a swift motion, he cut the collar. The clang of metal echoed through the shop. She froze, eyes wide in disbelief. I'm free?" she whispered. "Yes," Riker said gently. "I bought your freedom." Kragath's lipless mouth curled into a sinister smile. "Transaction complete." "She's yours." Riker glanced at the modulator. "And now I have no way off this rock." He turned to Lissa. She swayed slightly, weak from hunger and captivity. "Are you hungry?" he asked. She nodded timidly. Together, they bought a small meal. Lissa ate like she hadn't eaten in years, her energy slowly returning as they left the shop. Riker examined the package. Kragath had given him a small data crystal. Military-grade encryption. Dangerous if caught. His brow furrowed. A commotion erupted near the marketplace entrance. Armored figures questioned merchants, flashing images. One image looked suspiciously like Riker. "Time to go," he muttered. He grabbed Lissa's arm, guiding her through narrow corridors. Deeper into the fortress, they slipped into a shadowy tavern, dimly lit, full of alien patrons. Riker positioned himself to watch the door while keeping Lissa partially hidden. A figure approached. Tall, graceful, wearing a hooded cloak. The voice was melodic, unmistakably feminine. "Mind if I join you?" Before Riker could answer, she revealed herself Nara, an operative of the Galactic Coalition, with amber eyes that seemed to see everything. She had recognized Lissa, remembered her people. Her presence hinted at danger and secrets. Riker hadn't imagined Dot as she guided them through the fortress's twisting passages. Riker noticed Lissa's exhaustion. "Can you carry her?" Nara asked. Without hesitation, Riker scooped the girl into his arms. She was lighter than expected, trembling against him. The hidden doors opened to Nara's safe house. Comfortable, secure, a stark contrast to the harsh fortress outside. Lissa was laid to rest, finally safe. Riker faced Nara, his mind racing. The package he carried could get them killed. The hegemony was closing in, and yet he felt something he hadn't in years. Hope. And maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone anymore. Asterisk, the sons of Taxis Prime were relentless, but the shadows of the fortress offered little comfort. Riker moved carefully through the winding corridors. Lissa nestled in his arms. Her small hands clung to his forearm, eyes wide with exhaustion and fear. Every distant clang of metal, every whisper of movement in the dark corridors, made him tense. They weren't alone. Nara led them silently, her amber eyes scanning the path ahead. Her jumpsuit hugged her form as she moved gracefully, like a predator who knew exactly where danger lurked. "Not much further," she whispered. "Stay close." Riker glanced at Lissa. The girl's silver hair was tangled, her lavender skin bruised from the collar. She had eaten a small meal earlier, but the hunger in her eyes hadn't fully disappeared. Riker adjusted her in his arms. "You'll be safe soon?" he murmured. But safety on Taxis Prime was a fragile illusion. Outside the fortress, the crowded streets were patrolled by hegemony forces, armored, ruthless, and unforgiving. One wrong step, one careless glance, and they would be dead. Riker's heart pounded as they slipped through alleys, shadows concealing them from prying eyes. The package in his pocket was heavier than it looked, a small data crystal with deadly secrets encrypted inside. Kraygoth had handed it over too casually, but Riker had felt the danger immediately. This wasn't just a delivery. It was a trap. As they reached a narrow side corridor, Nara spoke quietly. "The hegemony has eyes everywhere. This crystal? It could get us all killed." Riker gritted his teeth. "Then we need to move fast." He adjusted Lissa in his arms. "Can you walk a little?" he asked gently. She nodded, wobbling as she took small steps beside him. Every step was a reminder of her fragility and his responsibility. Suspense grew with each turn. From the shadows, hegemony soldiers appeared, questioning merchants, scanning faces. One soldier's gaze lingered too long, and Riker instinctively ducked into a side passage. Lissa's small hand clenched his sleeve. Finally, Nara led them to a narrow hatch behind a wall of bioluminescent rock. A hidden door slid open, revealing a small hovercraft tucked in the shadows. "This will take us out of the fortress," Nara whispered. Riker placed Lissa inside gently. "Stay low," he warned, keeping his blaster ready. Nara followed him in, her movements calm but precise. Riker's pulse raced. Every second brought them closer to exposure. The hovercraft hummed as it lifted off the ground, skimming over the market rooftops. Down below, hegemony forces searched, their armored forms cutting through the desert sun. One wrong maneuver, and they would be trapped. Inside the craft, Lissa finally allowed herself a small smile. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Riker nodded, gripping the controls. The package pressed against his chest, heavy with danger and secrets. Nara studied him from the passenger seat. "You risked everything for her," she said. "Not many humans would do that." Riker's jaw tightened. "Not many humans are me." Her amber eyes glimmered, hinting at curiosity and something deeper. "We'll see about that," she murmured. As they cleared the fortress perimeter, the real danger began. Scorpia Station was still far ahead, and the hegemony's intelligence network could track them through the desert, the atmosphere, even space traffic. Every shadow on the horizon felt alive, every sound a warning. Riker's mind raced. They needed a plan, a way to deliver the crystal without being caught. And Lissa? She was still fragile, still terrified. He couldn't afford mistakes. Suddenly, the craft's sensors pinged. A patrol ship had detected them, closing fast. The hum of the engines seemed louder in Riker's ears. His heart hammered. "Hold on," he warned, gripping the controls tighter. Lissa clutched his arm, wide-eyed. "Riker, we'll be okay," he said, though his voice was calm only on the surface. The hovercraft dipped and weaved through the canyon paths, dodging detection. Nara's hands moved deftly across the controls, guiding them with precision. Every movement had to be perfect. One mistake would mean capture or death. Finally, after tense minutes that felt like hours, the craft disappeared into a narrow canyon tunnel, shaking off pursuit. Riker exhaled, his chest tight with relief. Lissa leaned against him, exhausted but safe. "Good work," Nara said softly. "But this is just the beginning. The hegemony will not give up. They know the crystal is out there now." Riker clenched his fists. He had saved Lissa. He had survived the fortress. But ahead lay Scorpius Station, danger, and choices that could change everything. And one thing was certain. Nothing in this galaxy would ever be simple again. The hovercraft hovered silently above the canyon floor, carrying Riker, Lissa, and Nara deeper into the wilderness. The suns of Taxis Prime beat down behind them, but inside the craft, a tense quiet filled the air. Every bump and shake reminded Riker how fragile their escape had been and how dangerous the next steps would be. Lissa nestled closer to him, still trembling but slowly regaining strength. Her small hand gripped his arm like a lifeline. Riker glanced at her, heart tightening. She had no one but him now. Every decision he made could mean life or death for her. Nara's amber eyes scanned the canyon below. The hegemony will not stop. They have eyes everywhere. "If we're caught with that crystal, it's over for all of us," she warned. Riker tightened his grip on the controls. "Then we can't be caught," he said. His voice was calm, but his mind raced. He had survived the fortress, the market, and the deadly streets, but the galaxy beyond would test him even more. The craft descended into a narrow tunnel, where darkness swallowed the noise of the outside world. Here, in the shadows, Nara finally spoke of her past. "I was a cultural liaison for the aliens before their world was destroyed," she began, her voice soft but firm. "I helped relocate survivors. Lissa's people, I knew them." The girl's eyes widened, shimmering with recognition and hope. "You knew them?" She whispered. "Yes," Nara said, glancing at Riker. "And now I must know. How did a human mercenary come to be protecting one of their children?" Riker shifted, uncomfortable under her piercing gaze. "I'm not a mercenary," he said quickly. "I freed her. That's it." Nara's eyes narrowed, studying him. Then they softened as she looked at Lissa. "Your actions, they are not typical of your kind. Most humans would not risk everything for an alien child." Riker felt a swell of pride and unease. Nara was dangerous, yes, but she could also be an ally. And for now, allies were exactly what they needed. Their moment of calm didn't last. Sensors on the hovercraft pinged movement in the canyon behind them. Hegemony scouts. Riker's heart pounded. Every muscle tensed. He had to protect Lissa. He had to survive. "Hold her close," he instructed. Lissa pressed herself against him, eyes wide, whispering, "Riker?" "They'll never catch us," he murmured, more to convince himself than her. Nara adjusted the craft's course, guiding them through twisting tunnels and narrow passes. Her hands moved with practiced precision, her calm contrasting Riker's tension. Each sudden echo of metal against rock made him flinch. Every shadow seemed to hide a trap. Finally, they reached a hidden cave, illuminated by faint bioluminescent strips. Nara guided them inside, closing the entrance behind them. The cave was simple but safe, a temporary refuge from the hegemony. Riker set Lissa down carefully. She collapsed onto a soft patch of ground, exhaustion overwhelming her. He crouched beside her, brushing a stray lock of silver hair from her face. "You're safe for now," he promised. Nara approached him. "The hegemony isn't just after you. That crystal contains evidence of war crimes. If it falls into the wrong hands—" Her voice trailed off. The weight of their mission was suddenly clear. Riker's jaw tightened. "Then we deliver it. That's all we can do." But Lissa stirred. Her small eyes darted toward the cave's entrance. "Riker." "They're coming," she whispered urgently. Riker froze. Her instincts were sharp, uncannily sharp, for someone so young. He glanced toward the shadows and felt a chill. She wasn't just frightened, she was warning him. Nara noticed it too. "Interesting," she murmured, studying the girl. "Most would panic. She senses danger." Riker realized something important. Lissa wasn't just a child to protect. She had gifts, intuition, awareness that could save them. Their temporary refuge wasn't safe for long. Outside, the hegemony would keep searching. Every passing moment raised the stakes, and every choice they made could mean life or death. As night fell over Taxis Prime, Riker, Lissa, and Nara prepared for the next move. The crystal, the hegemony, and the desert itself were all obstacles, but the human heart, courage, and ingenuity would be their secret weapon. And for the first time, Riker felt something he hadn't in years, that maybe, just maybe, humanity could rise in a galaxy that underestimated it, and that he might be the one to prove it. The night over Taxis Prime was cold, though the desert had barely cooled. Riker, Lissa, and Nara remained in the cave, but the calm was fragile. The hegemony's reach stretched farther than anyone could imagine, and every moment of rest was a risk. Riker set Lissa down gently on a makeshift bed of blankets. She closed her eyes, exhaustion overtaking her, but her fingers twitched slightly, as if sensing danger even in sleep. Riker frowned. The girl's instincts were uncanny. He would need to rely on them. A faint hum came from the entrance. Riker's hand went to his blaster instinctively. Nara's amber eyes flicked to the shadowed corner. "You weren't expecting anyone," she said quietly. The door slid open, and a tall reptilian alien stepped in. His green, scaled skin glinted in the dim light. Vertical pupils narrowed as he scanned the room. Riker's pulse quickened. "Trevak," Nara said under her breath. The alien's gaze locked on Riker. "The human," he hissed, his voice low and menacing. "I was told. Company might arrive." Nara stepped between them. "Recent developments. This human is not alone, and the child is under protection." Riker's jaw tightened. He had seen enough hegemony operatives to know this one was dangerous. Travak's eyes held calculation and malice, a predator disguised as an ally. Lissa stirred, sitting up slowly. Her green eyes locked on Travak. "Don't trust him," she whispered, voice small but urgent. Riker froze. Her instincts again. The girl wasn't just frightened. She was warning them. Travak's lips curled into a slight, mocking smile. "Interesting," he said. "The child can sense things. Perhaps that is why the human is useful." Riker realized something chilling. The delivery mission was not just dangerous, it was a trap. The crystal, the child, and even Nara were all part of a web the hegemony had spun long ago. Nara's amber eyes hardened. "Travak, the crystal is not for you. Leave now, and no one is hurt." Travak's hissed laugh echoed through the cave. You misunderstand, human liaison. The crystal is irrelevant. What matters is the leverage this child, this human. All others will follow. Riker tightened his grip on his blaster. Every instinct screamed at him. They had to escape. But with Lissa weak and Travak blocking the only exit, it seemed impossible. Lissa's small voice cut through the tension. Riker, the wall. Riker followed her gaze. One section of the cave wall flickered, almost imperceptibly. Nara caught it too. With a few taps, she revealed the hidden passage narrow, dark, and treacherous. Go. I'll cover you. She shouted. Riker scooped Lissa into his arms, her tiny body pressing against him. They dashed into the tunnel, the sound of Travak's claws scraping the floor close behind them. The narrow passage twisted like a labyrinth. Every turn was a gamble. Rocks and shadows threatened to slow them down. Riker's muscles burned as he carried Lissa, every step a reminder of the stakes. Behind them, Travak's hiss grew louder. Nara's voice called out instructions, guiding them through the maze. Left here. Quick. Don't look back. Finally, they emerged into a canyon that stretched wide and open. The stars above were bright, alien constellations twinkling like distant eyes watching them. A hidden shuttle waited, engines humming softly. Riker set Lissa down inside. Hold on, he said, climbing in after her. The shuttle lifted, dodging hegemony patrols with Nara's expert piloting Dot inside. Riker exhaled, relief and adrenaline mixing. Lissa's hand found his again. Thank you, she whispered. Nara's amber eyes scanned the horizon. This is far from over. Trevek will return. The hegemony will not forgive the loss of the crystal or the child. Riker's jaw tightened. Then we fight smart, and we survive. No one underestimates humans when they've seen what we'll risk for those who cannot protect themselves. Lissa's small face reflected hope and exhaustion, but also determination. Her instincts had saved them again. And Riker realized something important. This girl, fragile as she seemed, could be a key to surviving what came next. Out above them, the stars were calm, indifferent. But below, the galaxy's dangers were waking. And humanity, underestimated and overlooked, was about to prove just how unstoppable it could be. The shuttle glided silently through the upper atmosphere of Taxis Prime, leaving the desert sun and hegemony patrols behind. Riker tightened his grip on the controls, eyes flicking to Lissa beside him. The girl's small frame was still weak, but her green eyes gleamed with a mix of fear and determination. Nara, sitting opposite them, scanned the star maps. Scorpia Station is ahead. We'll need to be cautious. It's a hub for all sorts of traitors and spies. One wrong move, and the hegemony will find us before we dock. Riker nodded. Then we make this quick. Lissa? Stay close. The girl's small hand found his again, a grounding touch that reminded him of the stakes. This wasn't just a delivery. This was survival. The data crystal in his pocket held evidence of hegemony war crimes proof that could ignite rebellion and vengeance across systems. As they approached Scorpia Station, its massive structure loomed like a fortress in space. Trade ships, military vessels, and smugglers' crafts crowded the docking bays. Nara guided them through a hidden entrance, avoiding the main checkpoints. Inside the station, shadows moved quickly. Traders and mercenaries hustled past, oblivious to the danger lurking in their midst. Every glance could be fatal. Every step required careful precision. Stay low, Nara whispered. We need to reach the courier drop point without attracting attention. Riker's pulse raced. He moved through the corridors, Lissa beside him. Her instincts again guided them. Every sudden sound, every distant shadow, she warned him instinctively. The girl had an uncanny sense of danger, and Riker relied on it more than he cared to admit. At last, they reached a secluded chamber where a holographic beacon marked the delivery point. A single figure waited, shrouded in darkness. The air was tense, charged with the promise of betrayal or survival. "Show the crystal," Nara instructed. Riker handed it over carefully, feeling the weight of the galaxy in his palm. The figure stepped forward. It was a human courier, eyes sharp and calculating. "You've done well to make it here," he said. "But know this. The hegemony will not forgive this loss. You are marked." Riker's jaw tightened. "We're ready for them." Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed, and the station's PA system crackled. Hegemony forces had tracked them. They were not safe for a second longer. "Move!" Nara shouted. Riker grabbed Lissa, and they dashed toward a service elevator. The corridors erupted with armored soldiers, scanning for intruders. Lissa clutched Riker's arm tightly, fear mixed with courage. Her instincts guided them through the labyrinth of service tunnels, dodging patrols and automated sensors. Every step was a gamble, every turn a potential trap. Finally, they reached the maintenance bay, where a small, unassuming shuttle waited. Nara's hands flew over the controls, preparing for liftoff. "This will take us out," she said. The moment the shuttle left the station, a hegemony patrol ship appeared, weapons locked on them. Riker gritted his teeth. "Not today," he muttered, pushing the shuttle to its limits. They weaved through asteroid fields and debris, the hegemony ship chasing relentlessly. Nara's piloting skills, combined with Riker's quick thinking, kept them alive. Lissa watched, wide-eyed, her intuition seeming to anticipate every move before it happened. As they finally emerged into open space, the hegemony ship gave up pursuit for now. Riker exhaled, feeling the tension drain slightly. Lissa leaned against him, exhausted but safe. Nara's amber eyes met his. "You've done more than survive," she said. "You've shown humanity's true strength, courage, cunning, and the will to protect those who cannot protect themselves." Riker's jaw tightened. "And we're not done yet." Lissa's small face reflected relief and determination. Her instincts had saved them multiple times, and Riker realized she was more than just a child. They were partners in survival now. Above them, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent yet beautiful. But below, the galaxy's forces were stirring. The hegemony would not forget the crystal. And Riker, Lissa, and Nara would need every ounce of skill, courage, and ingenuity to survive the coming storm. One thing was certain. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, and they would soon learn that humans were not to be trifled with. The stars streaked past as the shuttle cut through open space, carrying Riker, Lissa, and Nara far from Scorpius Station. But the calm was only temporary. The hegemony was relentless, and their forces were already closing in. Riker tightened his grip on the controls. "They're not giving up," he muttered. Lissa clutched his arm, eyes wide but determined. Her instincts were sharp, sensing danger long before it arrived. Nara's amber eyes scanned the approaching ships. "We can't outrun them forever," she said. "We need to fight smart. You, human, will lead them." Riker's jaw tightened. He was just a mercenary, or at least he had thought so. But now, with Lissa's life and the crystal in their hands, he understood something crucial. The galaxy underestimated humans, and that mistake would be costly. The hegemony ships closed, sleek and deadly, weapons primed. Riker's mind raced, calculating odds, exit routes, and possible tricks. Lissa's small voice whispered in his ear, "We can't let them take it." "Or us," he nodded. "Then we fight." The shuttle erupted from hyperspace near a small asteroid belt. Using the asteroids as cover, Riker maneuvered with precision, weaving and dodging through the deadly field. Hegemony lasers lit up the darkness, their ships crashing against rocks or exploding in brilliant flashes. Lissa, despite her exhaustion, pointed instinctively at weak spots on the enemy vessels. Riker followed her guidance, targeting critical engines and weapon systems. Every move she suggested worked. Her instincts were uncanny. Nara provided cover fire from the shuttle's turret, her aim flawless, protecting them from swarming drones. The trio moved like a coordinated team, each one playing a vital role in the fight. Finally, only the lead hegemony cruiser remained, massive and imposing. Riker's eyes narrowed. This ends now. He guided the shuttle close to the cruiser, dodging its turrets. Lissa whispered, "Aim for the energy core." Without hesitation, Riker fired a concentrated shot, and the cruiser erupted in a blinding explosion, sending shards of metal into the void. The remaining ships retreated, their morale shattered. Humanity had won not through overwhelming force, but through cunning, courage, and the unexpected talent of a young alien girl and her human protector. Riker exhaled, feeling the adrenaline drain. Lissa looked up at him, eyes shining with gratitude and awe. "You saved us," she whispered. "No," Riker corrected gently, his arm around her. "We saved each other?" Nara's amber eyes softened as she surveyed the aftermath. "Humans, I've underestimated you. Your species' will, ingenuity, and loyalty. It's unlike anything I've seen." Riker allowed himself a rare smile. "And we're just getting started." As they set course for a hidden colony to rest and recover, the galaxy seemed vast and dangerous, but no longer insurmountable. Riker, Lissa, and Nara had proven that courage, intelligence, and compassion could triumph over any force. Even a ruthless empire dot, and somewhere in the stars. Those who had dismissed humanity would finally understand. Humans were not to be underestimated. The shuttle glided into the dark expanse, carrying survivors, heroes, and the seeds of a new legend across the galaxy. Humanity had survived. Humanity had triumphed. And the galaxy would never forget it.